Hello, I'm Susan Latai, and I am here with Catherine DeOrsey, co-author of a new book to be released soon called Shining a Light on Grief. Welcome, Catherine.
Thank you.
So happy that you're here and so happy that you've been part of this journey to create this book.
Oh, it's been an amazing experience. I am completely honored and grateful that I was invited and just happy that it's here and hoping it can help so many people.
Yes, exactly. So please share a brief description of your chapter titled The Hard Way.
So my chapter is really about the mind-body connection. This was something that I didn't know anything about. I've suffered through 3 significant griefs and losses in my life with my brother, my father, and my friend, and not processing grief. I didn't even know I needed to process grief, but it had a really detrimental role to my physical health and my mental health and my energy and emotions, and I didn't even know it at the time. So, I ultimately had a health crisis, but it was through the journey of my healing that I started to learn that grief is a process. Grief must be addressed. One must use self-care throughout the process of grief to help them get through it. And, I'm happy to say that I am completely healed. I truly have gone through the process. It has not been easy. It has taken a very long time for me to process everything that I've gone through with these 3 losses, but I'm on the other side. So I've really shared my personal story in hopes that other people can either help them with losses in the past, or perhaps it's a loss that they're going through right now.
Right. And just in writing this, it also continued that process of grieving.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was actually in a much greater and more significant way than I ever would have realized. So I had a really impactful period that was not easy, but it was that last piece of grief that was stuck inside of me that I was able to finally get out. So thank you for that.
You are welcome. Yeah, this was quite the journey, I think, for everyone. And it was beautiful to watch the transition through the whole process of where we started and where we ended, and everybody came along that journey and everybody finished that journey to get to the end product. So it's very exciting. It will be out soon.
Yeah, I can't wait to read all the other authors. I have not read any of their stories. I've just, we've spoken about highlights.
Yes.
But it really just has been an amazing experience to go through. So
yeah, thank you. So why did you say yes when I asked you?
It has had, grief has really played a significant role just in my life. And, I was sick. I was not well. It was bad, but it took me 30 years to go through chronic stress and 30 years of holding in all these emotions related to my losses for me to finally break. And when you asked me to do this, I have learned just so much through these losses and so much through my healing crisis that I don't ever want anybody to get to the state that I got in, because I thought I was taking care of myself my whole life. So that to me was kind of crazy. I thought I was health conscious. I thought I was doing it. I thought I was strong and okay. And so if this can happen to me and I could get that sick, then I can't imagine all the other people. And grief is just so painful. I know it's life-changing when you lose someone you love. And so I really want to help people become aware of these tools and resources to help them through it. And, it is going to be painful, but really, can we approach grief in a much gentler and easier way for everybody so that we can start to heal and just look back at our loved ones more with love and happiness than the painful emotions of sadness or anger or whatever those tough emotions are.
Right. Right. And I think awareness is so powerful, where you said, you weren't even aware that you weren't taking good care of yourself. You weren't aware that you hadn't processed your grief until you had this health crisis.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even know. And I thought grief ended when the person died and was buried, and you just
Yeah.
somehow just tried to get back to a normal way of living. And I knew some days that it certainly wasn't easy, and some days were better than others, but I just thought, oh, that's what you do. So
Right.
there's just so much I've learned and so much I know now. And, and it's hard. I think a lot of people, it's so painful,
Yeah.
you get stuck and it can
Right.
take you down. And so I don't want people to come down. This is part of life. I mean, it's a difficult part of life. We're all going to go through it, and just maybe we can go through it a little easier.
That would be nice. Well, if we live long enough, we will go through it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's just it's part of life, and it's such a taboo subject and misunderstood subject because we're not taught how to grieve. We're not, we learn by example. So depending on what our parents did and how they handled grief, that's kind of what we take on. It's like, okay, this is the way it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to talk about it. You're not supposed to have this time period of processing and learning to really live alongside the loss, not necessarily, oh, one day you're just going to forget that it happened, because it's something it molds you and makes you who you are, because it's one of
Yeah.
those, life lessons and experiences that, unfortunately we have to go through.
Well, I think too that, I am definitely a better person for
Yeah.
going through these. I mean, the things that I value going
Mm.
through these
Oh yeah.
experiences and these lives,
Yeah.
just, and then unless somebody has lost someone and gone through that, oftentimes it's very difficult for them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's one of those bittersweet experiences that we have, right? It's very
Right.
tough and painful and challenging,
Absolutely.
but
Yeah.
it does change us for the better, and eventually we will deal with it, because grief will reveal itself to be processed. It's not meant to live within us forever, so we're meant to move forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. We're meant to live because we're
Yeah.
still here.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Okay. All right. Lastly, what would you like to share with our audience about you, about personally, your business? What do you have going on, and how are you being of service in the world now?
Yeah, so through my health journey and through all of these losses, I definitely have had some changes in my life. And one of those is I've created a nonprofit called Integrative Healthcare Solutions, whose whole mission is to help people through self-care get well, stay well, and be well.
Mhm.
And we're really meant to be the bridge between, say, traditional medicine and holistic medicine.
Right.
I mean, this has been one of the things that I never knew about the other side of healthcare. I never knew about taking care of myself. And so,
Mhm.
I'm healed. I'm not on any medication. My MRIs are completely normal.
Yeah.
So some of the work that I've been doing and through the grief is for the opioid crisis. So
Okay.
as in my chapter, I lost my brother, and I've been out in the community trying to work with our medical doctors and with patients through chronic pain. And then most recently, I have a grief retreat that is coming up in September, is to help those on the back end of the opioid crisis. So many people are being lost, and the crisis is not only continuing, but it's worse these days. And I don't want people to take years to suffer the way that I silently, if you with this,
Right.
opioid crisis and opioids and addiction, substance abuse disorder, it all has, a stigma attached to that. And so I think this is a really tremendous opportunity to bring this group of people together, to come together with people that understand what they're going through, to learn some tools to help them go through the process and hopefully start their own healing journey as they move forward.
Yes, yes, which is definitely needed out there. And it will help many.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. Besides that, I have 2 kids and I'm married and a dog and just running around doing a million different things.
Living life.
Yes, right. That's right.
Living life. Well, thank you for being here with me today. This
Thank
is
you.
awesome. And the book will be out soon. So to learn more about Catherine and her story of triumph through grief and illness and everything, pick up the book soon, the end of June, hopefully soon. Maybe even by the time I post this, I'll have a date of when it will be released.
Bye.
Who knows? Fingers crossed. All right. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you so much.
Bye.